It was the headline no one saw coming. Chris Martin cries after Dakota Johnson confirms romance with Sam Heughan. In a single moment, Hollywood's carefully spun web of glamour unraveled. Chris Martin, the soulful frontman of Coldplay, was thrust into the spotlight, not for his music, but for his heartbreak. His longtime partner Dakota Johnson had reportedly confessed to a romance with Sam Heughan, the Scottish star of Outlander. And the world was left stunned. Dakota Johnson, known for her wry humor and elusive charm, had always been coy about her private life. So when she hinted during an interview that she was seeing someone very special, a man from Scotland, jaws dropped. Fans and media alike immediately jumped to one conclusion: Sam Heughan. It didn't take long for social media to explode. Hashtags like #Samkota and #ChrisHeartbreak trended worldwide. Gossip sites scrambled to publish timelines of Dakota and Sam's supposed connection, piecing together blurry paparazzi photos, chance meetings at events, and rumors that had floated quietly for months. For Chris Martin, the timing was brutal. While Dakota's words ricocheted through the internet, Chris was on stage, pouring his heart into Coldplay's world tour. Then came the moment that sealed the scandal. Fan-captured footage of Chris, visibly emotional, wiping away tears as he sang, "Fix You." In that instant, the story was no longer just gossip. It was a public heartbreak. Chris and Dakota had been together, on and off, for 6 years. Their romance had always been understated, often hidden from the glare of paparazzi lenses. Chris, the introspective musician, seemed to find balance with Dakota, the Hollywood heiress turned indie darling. Despite challenges, distance, demanding schedules, and their reluctance to flaunt their relationship, the couple had endured. That's why Dakota's confession shocked fans. To them, Chris and Dakota weren't just a couple. They were proof that love could survive in Hollywood's chaos. Now, that illusion was shattered. Enter Sam Heughan. Tall, magnetic, and adored worldwide for his portrayal of Jamie Fraser, one of television's most iconic romantic heroes. His name had often been tied to co-star Katrina Balfe, but nothing concrete had ever been confirmed. Suddenly, with Dakota's words, Sam was cast in a brand new role. The man who stole Dakota's heart. The press wasted no time turning the story into Hollywood's next blockbuster. Magazine covers screamed betrayal. Dakota chooses Sam. Chris left in tears. From Coldplay to Outlander, the affair that stunned the world. Talk shows replayed Chris's emotional performance, analyzing every tear as proof of heartbreak. Paparazzi trailed Dakota, scrutinizing every outing. A smile became smug confirmation, while silence was painted as guilt. And Sam? The notoriously private actor suddenly found himself bombarded by cameras, his every move dissected. Did he fly to Los Angeles for Dakota? Was he avoiding Katrina? Every appearance became fuel for speculation. Fans chose sides instantly. Coldplay loyalists rallied behind Chris, painting him as the noble heartbroken hero. "Stay strong, Chris, she doesn't deserve you," one tweet read. Outlander fans were divided. Some celebrated the possibility of Sam finding love, while others accused Dakota of wrecking the fantasy of Sam and Katrina. Hashtags like #TeamChris, #TeamSam, and #Dakota exposed clashed across platforms. Even Katrina Balfe, who had nothing to do with the drama, was dragged into the storm. Fans speculated that she, too, was devastated by Sam's supposed romance, turning the scandal into a tangled soap opera of love, betrayal, and broken dreams. By the end of that week, the story had reached fever pitch. Chris Martin's tears became the scandal's defining image, the picture of a man undone by love. Dakota Johnson was branded Hollywood's new heartbreaker, while Sam Heughan was portrayed as the irresistible outsider who had ignited chaos. The question remained: was Dakota's confession genuine, or had Hollywood manufactured yet another illusion? And if it was true, what did it mean for the man whose tears had captivated the world? The stage was set for the tearful truth to emerge. As the scandal reached its peak, the real story began to emerge. Behind the glossy magazine covers and trending hashtags was a tangled web of emotions, love, loyalty, and pain, that no headline could fully capture. For Chris, the scandal cut deeper than the public could see. Those close to him described him as shattered, not only by Dakota's confession but by the public spectacle of it all. To watch his private heartbreak turned into a global headline was devastating. Friends revealed that Chris had always adored Dakota, believing they had a future together despite their on-again, off-again history. The thought of losing her to another man, especially one as admired as Sam Heughan, was unbearable. His tears on stage weren't a performance. They were the raw truth of a man who had lost the woman he loved. For Dakota, the scandal was a nightmare. While her words hinted at affection for Sam, friends insisted she never meant to confirm a romance. The media twisted a vague comment into a headline that changed everything. Still, Dakota couldn't escape the label. Paparazzi painted her as the woman who betrayed Chris. Critics called her reckless, and though she cared deeply for Chris, she was intrigued by Sam's charisma and warmth. Whether or not there was ever true romance, Dakota became the unwilling villain of the story. Sam's position was perhaps the most complicated. Known for guarding his private life, he suddenly found himself accused of breaking a world-famous couple apart. In interviews, he remained calm. Dakota is wonderful, Chris is incredible. They both deserve respect. But the media didn't care for diplomacy. His every move was portrayed as confirmation. A trip to Los Angeles was spun into a secret rendezvous. Smiling on the red carpet became proof of new love. Sam, who had built his career on integrity and discretion, became the reluctant center of Hollywood's biggest scandal. As weeks passed, insiders began revealing the truth. There was no torrid affair, no betrayal plotted in secret. Dakota's connection with Sam, while real, had been blown wildly out of proportion. What existed between them was friendship, perhaps admiration, but not the love story tabloids sold. Chris's tears, though heartbreaking, were less about betrayal and more about the weight of a complicated, fragile relationship collapsing under Hollywood's microscope. Dakota hadn't chosen Sam over Chris. She had simply been caught in a careless moment that spiraled out of control. The tearful truth? All three were victims of fame, of gossip, of the relentless hunger for scandal. Eventually, the frenzy died down. Chris returned to music, pouring his emotions into haunting new lyrics. Dakota retreated from the spotlight, refusing to feed the gossip machine. Sam focused on his projects, letting silence restore his dignity. But the scars remained. Chris Martin will forever be remembered for the night he cried on stage. Dakota Johnson will carry the label of Hollywood's heartbreaker, deserved or not. And Sam Heughan will be haunted by a romance that was more rumor than reality. The legacy of the scandal is not love, it is pain. It is the reminder that in Hollywood, perception is often stronger than truth, and a single careless whisper can ruin lives. In the end, the story of Chris Martin, Dakota Johnson, and Sam Heughan was never truly about romance. It was about the destructive power of rumor. A single confession, a few tears, and a hungry press corps were enough to turn 3 lives upside down. For fans, it was unforgettable drama. For those involved, it was a painful reminder. In Hollywood, even the smallest spark can ignite a firestorm.